Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and in today's video I'm going to break down some of the most important tips and tricks if you're visiting Universal's water park, Volcano Bay. And the truth is, most people visit Volcano Bay completely wrong, and in 2026 it's even easier to mess up. Why? Because the game has completely changed. The Tapu-Tapu virtual queue system that defined this park for so many years completely gone. And if you show up expecting it to work the way it used to, you're going to waste hours standing in line, miss the best water rides, and leave extremely frustrated. But here's the good news. If you're watching videos like this, you will know the new rules and you can actually have a better day at Volcano Bay. And in this video, I'm breaking down over 14 of the best tips that will help you get on more rides, wait less, and actually enjoy your day. As always, I'm very excited, so let's go get started. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm about to break down the best tips and tricks for Universal's water park, Volcano Bay. And at the time of the recording of this video, spring break is right around the corner. And I know in Florida, in March, April, the weather starts to get really nice and you can go and enjoy the water park. So that's why we're creating this video. Some kind of seasonal reminders. Before we dive in, remember that Volcano Bay has a planned seasonal maintenance closure later this year from October 26th through March 24th, 2027. So be sure if you want to go to the water park that you do plan accordingly if you're planning on visiting later this year into 27. But starting with tip number one, and one of the most important ones that we have probably ever had at Universal, and that is that as of October 2025, Universal has officially retired the Tapu-Tapu virtual line system that was running at Volcano Bay. So what does this mean? Well, Volcano Bay now uses traditional standby lines at all of their attractions, and this definitely fundamentally changes how you need to plan your day at the water park. The old strategy of tap and relax unfortunately is gone, and now it definitely is strategic timing and you have to plan your smart arrivals. And so what this means, how do you get the most out of your day? Well, definitely early arrival is now more important than ever. You'll still get a wristband, but it's just for locker access and for payments throughout the park, not for ride reservations. And you'll see that there's still going to be signs that give you, wait times and ride now signs to give you an idea of how long the lines are. There's also still going to be interactive tap points with the water cannons and hidden features, but I definitely feel like if you have early park admission or if you get to Volcano Bay early, you definitely have a key advantage here. And that brings me to tip number two, which is master your arrival strategy. Understand how early park admission work. Understand how you really want to target the heavy hitters when you're using early park admission, and that will allow you to get the most out of your day. So sticking with early park admission, guest staying at any of the official Universal Orlando hotels, or if you have certain ticket types, you get it's either 30 minutes or an hour at Volcano Bay. So keep an eye on that. It can vary based on the time of year. But what I would say to this is think about if you are specifically going for this water park, think about the hotel that you want to stay at that will give you easy access to this park. So if you're staying at Cabana Bay Beach Resort, it actually has a dedicated walking path to this hotel. But here's it's not like an official kind of walking path, but if you stay at Adventura or Sapphire Falls, you can pretty much just run across the street and get over to Cabana Bay. So take with that what you may. It's not an official sidewalk. I have to repeat that, but you can get across if you want easy access. Definitely be sure to look at those two hotels as well, Adventura and Sapphire Falls. And what this allows you to do is you can skip the buses that have to take you to the park, and you can actually save you 15 to 20 minutes to make sure you are some of the first guests in the park. And if you're still trying to get an idea for budgeting and which Universal Orlando hotel is best for you, definitely just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. We have a breakdown of every single Universal Orlando hotel, and we can actually help you, and we'll do the comparisons for you to make sure you're getting the best deal possible. But over to targeting the heavy hitters, which rides typically have the longest wait times at Volcano Bay, and you definitely have to keep an eye on the aqua coaster, the body plunges, and then the body slides. But I would really say that the aqua coaster is going to be the number one kind of heavy hitter for everyone. Okay, so this brings us to tip number three, and that is now you have to really strategically plan if you want the Universal Express Pass. And so it's important to understand that Volcano Bay actually has its own Express Pass separate from the other theme parks. So it's not included with the Signature Collection hotels that do include the free 2-park Express Pass. And now I've spoken about this on my channel, and we have actually a couple videos coming out on making sure the Express Pass is worth it for you if you're thinking about it. The multi-day Express Pass is only for the 3 main parks now. It does not include Volcano Bay. So Volcano Bay has essentially its own 2 Express Passes to, of course, overcomplicate this completely. So we have the regular Volcano Bay Express Pass, which allows you to skip the lines at select attractions. We also have the Volcano Bay Express Pass Plus, which allows you to skip all the attractions. So they are going to be single use per per attraction. And of course, just like the express passes work, the prices may vary based on the date. But I would also say if you're trying to get through this park as quickly as possible, definitely keep an eye on when you plan to visit. Spring break, March, April has historically been one of the busiest times of year. In the summer, if you're visiting on the weekend in the summer, a lot of locals like going to Volcano Bay as well. So if you're trying to just get through this park as quickly as possible, you definitely might need an express pass to do that. And if you're unsure if you're visiting during a busy time of year or not, we of course do have a crowd calendar over at our website, The Park Prodigy, so definitely just be sure to go check that out. Over to tip number 4, and you can see there's a lot of strategy now that goes into your day at Volcano Bay, and this is another important one, and that is making sure you kind of have your home base, quote unquote, and it really means where do you want to sit? Which lounge chairs are you kind of going after, or do you not really care about lounge chairs? Me and my wife really needs to be in the shade as much as possible, so we actually will strategically plan and get there early just so we can go and make sure that we do have seats either under an umbrella or even really under the shaded areas completely. So give that some thought. If you know you're visiting with younger kids and you don't want to be out in the hot sun all day, then yeah, you need to plan a little bit to figure out where are the best seats. On the flip side, if you're like, hey, we want to get as much sun as possible, you can go into your day with a little bit more of a laid back attitude. And what I would also say is a lot of guests kind of focus and they'll just grab the chairs sort of right near the entrance as soon as you walk in, right in front of the big volcano. But if you go deeper into the park, if you head into the back right corner of Waturi Beach, there's definitely a more secluded and shaded structures back there. So that's kind of my secret spot. But another thing that we will do, depending on the pricing, is we will possibly upgrade and get the premium seating. So the premium seating is a pair of padded lounges with an adjustable canopy. It has a built-in lockbox for valuables and an attendant service for food and drinks. This is different from the cabanas, and Universal also has one step lower that's just really, you're kind of just paying for a guaranteed umbrella. And so that's kind of what we typically will do if we can get a good deal on it when we're visiting. Universal, of course, also has the cabanas, which are extremely popular. So that's a tip and trick within itself. If you know you want a cabana, I definitely would recommend book it as soon as you know you're going to Volcano Bay. And essentially, this is going to include a mini fridge, some bottled water, fruit basket, concierge service for food delivery. It could fit up to 6 for a standard or up to 16 for the family. And again, you definitely want to book this early and often if you really want it, because they will sell out. Over to number 5, and this is, of course, your packing essentials. So you don't want to show up to Volcano Bay unprepared. Make sure that you have water shoes to protect your feet. The pavement definitely can get hot, so even with the water sprays on the walkways, make sure that you bring water shoes. I would also bring a towel so you can avoid having to pay. You can rent a towel there, but it's about $7 rental fee for the towel. Was the last time I checked. An important one that I do have to mention is you technically are not supposed to bring the hotel towels, so don't do that. I would also make sure you bring a dry bag to stash any of your dry clothes in your lockers, especially if you have that park to park ticket and you're going to hit the main water parks maybe later in the day. And you can also bring prepackaged snacks, so you definitely can bring a soft-sided cooler. It says 8.5 by 6 by 6. You can't bring any glass or anything like that, but kind of similar to the rules at the regular parks. Anything that's like non-refrigeratable or, you know, in a small cooler is fine. We typically bring sandwiches, stuff like that, chips, pretzels. You think about your typical like beach snack food. Also, some of the other things, of course, you want to have suntan lotion, cooling towels, anything that you think you would need for a day out in the sun. Make sure that you're bringing it from home because it will save you money. All right, over to tip number 6, and I would say have a game plan for where you want to eat or what type of food you want to enjoy in the park if you are going to buy your food. So Volcano Bay really does have some amazing food, and it's not your typical theme park kind of quick service. A lot of it is inspired by the Polynesian sort of cuisine with fresh, unique options, and guests can still use the mobile food ordering. And also, if you have the Coke Freestyle Cup, it can be used at Volcano Bay. So this is just another great way for you to save some money. And so here's another one that I actually read online. And so a strategic sort of navigational tip is that it's called the clockwise secret. And this is the same thing. We see this at Magic Kingdom a lot as well. So most guests naturally move counterclockwise from the entrance. So if you start at the back of the park and work clockwise, you'll pretty much try to kind of stay ahead of the crowds all day. Another one that I personally have seen firsthand is that in Florida, especially if you're visiting in the summer, it's going to rain. Like it rains almost every day, but for the most part, it typically only rains for like 20 to 30 minutes. So most guests, when it starts to rain, they'll panic and they'll leave. But what you can do is if you can wait it out, what you'll get on the other side of it is you'll hopefully be able to enjoy significantly shorter lines for all of the water rides. And another one that I would say to be prepared for is as you're strategizing or getting around this park that I personally have picked up is a lot of the attractions require climbing, and it is significant. So be prepared to walk, especially if you're going on some of the slides and the body slides, you definitely will be walking a lot of stairs, and just make sure you pace yourself and you stay hydrated because of course you are outside. Over to tip number 8, and of course we kind of touched base on this one already, but definitely be sure if you can arrive early, try to knock out your must-do rides before 11 a.m. So don't just take my word for it. Have your list of whatever is most important to you and thrill first, and you can chill later on. So make sure that you knock out whatever you can before 11 o'clock when really everyone starts to kind of roll in, and then you can switch over to chill mode and you can do the lazy river or the Waturi beach and really just kind of slow it down. And then the same thing a little bit later at night once everyone leaves. If you can hang out past 4 or 5 o'clock, you could definitely get a lot done later at night if the park's open a little bit later. All right, over to number 9, and there is a lot of hidden magic that a lot of guests might miss or not kind of be prepared for as you go into Volcano Bay. So make sure if you go into this water park, you definitely want to walk inside the volcano, even if you're not going on any of the rides in there. So if you walk in the volcano and you find a tiki face named Val, you can actually talk to it and it talks back. So this is another one that's going to be great for kids to really get the most out of your day. And like I said, there are the interactive tap points still, so you can place your hand over tap points or interact with water cannons in the lazy river, discover hidden messages in the caves, and just be sure to look for the Tapu-Tapu symbol throughout the park. And if you can stay for sunset, the park really transforms, and there's even like glowing lava effects. It really is a completely different vibe than the daytime. And I would also say kind of a tip and trick within this one is keep an eye out for Volcano Bay nights. It's actually a specially separated ticket after hours event where there's a DJ, special entertainment, different sort of food throughout the parks. It's limited capacity and it is at night, so it's really cool, especially those summer nights. It's like summer just has a feel to it where you kind of, your body can just stay up a little bit later and you kind of are expecting it, right? I have a lot of good memories of hanging out at the pool late at night with my friends. This definitely has the summer vibes because it is later at night and you can really just enjoy the water park. Over to tip number 10, and we have the locker strategy. So typically what we find is the park lockers in the back of the park are a lot less crowded. And what you could do too is you can have one person kind of manage the locker to avoid everyone having to go and walk in where it's overcrowded. From a budgeting standpoint, you definitely want to kind of budget, I would say $15 to $25 for the day, depending on the size of locker that you need. And over to the next tip and trick, and we kind of touched base on this, but it's important for me to mention it again. Plan your Volcano Bay day. Make sure that you kind of know what day you want to go and you arrive early, especially if you're visiting in the summer and especially if you're visiting in a weekend in the summer, because this park can reach capacity and we've seen it a lot and you can possibly get turned away. So this is why you definitely want to arrive. If you have early park admission, go and take advantage of it. You'll avoid the peak crowds and you'll make sure you get into the park. You'll get the best seating, and definitely be sure to always check the Universal Orlando app for the updated park hours. Over to tip number 12, and this really has to do with the height and weight requirements. So one of the downsides of Volcano Bay is it's not going to be that great for families with very young kids. A lot of the water rides, the slides and stuff like that, they do have minimum height requirements, and I would say 6 out of the rides here have either 42 inches minimum or 48 inches minimum. So you definitely have to be prepared for that. Another one on the flip side is some of the slides do have weight limits as well. So as you're preparing, do a little additional research, and if you're visiting, like I said, with young kids, understand exactly which kind of kiddie pools are good for them. They do have a ton of kid areas, but you don't want to get your kids' hopes up that they're going to be able to go on all the slides, because trust me, I've been there, done that, and then you get to the front of the line and they're just too short. Do your homework, do your research, have your list of things that everyone can do, and your day will go that much smoother. And tip number 13, going back to families with young kids, you can take advantage of free life vests within Volcano Bay. And so the cool thing here is it's actually available for all sizes, from toddlers to adults. My mom actually can't swim. Even if I took her to a water park, she probably wouldn't go in the water, but I understand that there are certain people out there, maybe you didn't learn how to swim. That's fine. You could still go and feel safe and comfortable at Volcano Bay. And the cool thing, like I said, is there's no need to bring your own. Universal will provide them. But I would say on the flip side, you definitely can't take them on some of the rides. It's really going to be geared for the lazy river and wave pool, stuff like that. Okay, over to tip number 14, and last but not least, and we have the transportation sort of pitfall and trap that you could potentially fall into. And I learned this the hard way. I spoke about it a couple years ago. But if you're driving to the Universal parking structure and you're following the Volcano Bay signs, it's essentially going to take you just to the City Walk parking garage. That's where, if you're driving to Volcano Bay, you're not actually driving to Volcano Bay. You're going to be driving to the Universal Orlando parking garage, which is going to be at City Walk. Now from here, you have to take a shuttle bus from the garage to the Volcano Bay entrance. It's not long. It's only about 5 minutes. But what I would say is Universal, when I did this anyway, they didn't have these shuttle buses running before early park admission. And so if you are kind of trying to take advantage or get over to this park a little bit earlier and you're driving, you just want to be prepared for that, because on the flip side, you don't want to arrive a half hour before early park admission starts and then you're just waiting there for a half half hour. I would say double check, call Universal, see what time they plan to have the buses run on the day you're going to be visiting over to Volcano Bay, and you can kind of time it perfectly. The other thing I would say too is if you are trying to like game the system and go over to Cabana Bay, they really do try to keep an eye on who is a hotel guest. So just be prepared for that. They might check your room keys to see, are you staying at an official Universal Orlando hotel? But outside of that, everyone, those are 14 tips that you absolutely need to know about for the best Volcano Bay experience in 2026 and beyond. As a recap, just remember Tapu-Tapu is gone. Early park admission is now your secret weapon, and arriving late is the biggest mistake that you can make if you want a shaded spot or to get on some of the water rides in the shortest time possible. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as I have a lot more Universal Orlando planning tips and tricks videos coming out in the coming week. And like I said, if you need a little additional help planning your next Universal Orlando vacation, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. As a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, I do have a special promo code that you can go use on our website to save an extra $50 off your next Universal Orlando vacation, and the promo code is going to be MAGIC50. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video, and until next time, I will talk to you soon.